Hi, Misha here, and this weekend I've been mostly working on main channel videos for Mishiko, getting stuff edited. It was a pretty big week in our industry. SHOT Show was this past week and whatnot, so I haven't had a lot of time to do personal videos, but felt like doing a couple of quick ones tonight before I hit the hay. And this one's going to be on two interesting concept shuttles. These are both released from Eaglemoss and their die-cast series of models for the Star Trek Starships collection. And these are both Matt Jeffries concepts for the shuttle, the Enterprise shuttle. This one here is the concept for the original series shuttle, dating back to 1966. And this one here, allegedly, is the concept shuttle for the aborted Phase 2 series, dating back to 1976-77. I say allegedly because there's a bit of controversy on that, but yeah. Now these are, like I said, in the bonus series, meaning they're not in the regular subscription, so they're optional to buy. And these are usually what Eaglemoss does with their concept. For example, the Phase 2 concept Enterprise was in the bonus series, as was the concept Enterprise C, and so on. So these are often might-have-beens or unused, sometimes very lightly used. For example, we just got the SS Conestoga from the series Enterprise, which was seen on screen, but only on a computer. But anyway, yeah, these are the shuttles that could have been on Kirk's USS Enterprise NCC 1701. Of course, since they were never used, we don't have any specs or data. According to notes, they were pretty much designed as shuttlecraft and or scoutcraft. And really the need for a shuttle was felt early on in the original series. They didn't have anything at the beginning of Season 1. They were working on something, and Jeffries, who had designed brilliantly the Constitution model for the Enterprise, as well as the ring ship and others, first proposed and really kind of pushed for this. It is a neat design, and Eaglemoss has made it into a very large-scale model for what it is. This is, yeah, it's got a lot of metal to it, and yeah, like the engines are plastic, but the body here is metal. And Jeffries felt that this really went with the look of the Enterprise ship. It would have been a streamlined design for entering atmospheres and whatnot. And he's not wrong. Unfortunately, a shuttle, unlike a full starship, will need to be displayed on screen with actors getting in and out of it, as well as working inside it and having it in the background. So they ended up needing a model that they could actually afford to build as a full size, or at least, 3/4 size, as they ended up doing, set prop. And they were working with wood and foam and plaster, and they just couldn't get all the curves right. Now, interestingly, this issue would pop up again with Andrew Probert's original Type 7 shuttle in Next Generation. So even by 1987, they probably wouldn't have had a way to make this work. So they ended up going to the very boxy, but somehow still endearing Class F Galileo type, which we saw in several episodes of the original series and in a few background shots of the motion picture. And so this was never realized, but a few elements were taken from it. It uses kind of a 3-skid landing system with a retracting back skid that was kind of carried over to the eventually realized shuttle. It also has what are very clearly warp nacelles, which were carried over to the television series shuttle, which just goes to show you, as I've said multiple times, the shuttle was always meant to be warp capable. And again, he did not design this just as a shuttle. It was also meant to be a scout craft. And also, while the shape was changed, the kind of 3 front windows were carried over to the shuttle. Neat concept. So what about the Phase 2 shuttle? An unrealized shuttle from an unrealized series. Well, the Phase 2 Enterprise was reworked and became the Motion Picture Enterprise. But when we finally saw shuttles in that era, they were radically different. And this shuttle is very radically different from anything we've seen before or after in Star Trek. Has kind of a bubble canopy. It has this recess at the nose. I'm not sure if that's meant to be an intake or a deflector or something else. To me, given that I like aviation, it definitely harkens to old 50s style jets like the MiG-15 or F-86. But yeah. Long and tapered. Honestly kind of resembles, especially with these kind of protrusions here, which I assume are meant to be some kind of nacelles, but kind of resembles a fighter or something. And that gets into the controversy. I've tried to follow up on this, but a few commenters online have said that this was actually, while a Matt Jefferies design, not really designed for Star Trek. It was designed for another series or so. Then you kind of get into the whole chicken and the egg thing. Was this designed for Star Trek, and then when it wasn't accepted there, pitched to another series, or was it designed by Jefferies for another series, and then kind of shoehorned into the Phase 2 proposal? We'll probably never know. But it does seem odd for a Starfleet shuttle. Now keep in mind, Matt Jefferies was kind of he was brought back as more of a consultant for Phase 2. He did not directly work on it full time, if that makes sense. So if they might have asked him for a shuttle, and he might have already had this design and just gave it to him. Who knows? But it is a very distinctly 70s design. It reminds me of Battlestar Galactica a wee bit. Buck Rogers, just that 70s, Star Wars fighter era. Heck, even with the 4 wings, it could even be said to have a bit of Star Wars X-Wing in it. Beta 2 is a very long model, quite large. The whole central part is metal, with the wings being your polymer. And regardless of exactly how it got attached to Phase 2, since Eaglemoss did give us the original concept shuttle, I think it's neat they gave us both. And again, these are bonus editions, so you can buy them or not. Some people say that Eaglemoss has been scraping the bottom of the barrel because they've done very obscure or very slightly seen ships recently. To me, that's when it gets interesting. Every model maker does an Enterprise or a Klingon bird of prey. Not everyone does a Jeffries concept ship, or the USS Sarajevo, which is one I was really excited to get, or the Excelsior prototypes, or the complete damn Wolf 359 fleet. I think that's what makes them neat. Now, with that said, the Jeffries concept shuttle was realized in recent years, at least to some extent, with this. One sec, guys. Harry Mudd's Stella Class J freighter. Now, if you don't recognize this as an old school fan, that's okay, because when the episode with Harry Mudd's Women came out, his freighter, while represented and while talked about on screen, was really only shown, like they did a lot back then, as a ball of light. So when they did the original series remastered TOSR, they did add in a few CGI ships, which is, I think, a change that people can mostly agree was good, because one thing the original series was lacking was models of ships. So when this was designed for remastered, they referenced and paid homage, and this is said publicly, to Jeffries, using his basic concept for a shuttle, and made this guy. And this was supposed to be the Class J, a small freighter or passenger or scout ship. See, there's the Scout again. Kind of old-fashioned, but still seen quite a bit around the Federation. Sorry, the stand on this one. The ship sits in the stand. It's the clip part fine, but I need to tack the bottom again. But it has a lot of similarities. The engine in the back, the nacelles. They did add two small, cool little deflector dishes. The kind of teardrop-shaped hull. This wasn't just used by Harry Mudd. We also see this in the season finale of, well, the season 1 finale, Operation Annihilate. This was a colony's scout ship and, planetary ship. We also hear it referred to as the ship that Captain Pike was permanently crippled on. And we see it as the Aurora in everyone's favorite TOS episode, The Way to Eden. Isn't it funny how people sometimes just praise TOS to the heavens, but it seems like they're only praising a dozen or 24 episodes, and they like to forget about some of the others. I think Futurama had a great joke about that. Either way, this replaced the Tholian ship used for the human ship in Way to Eden, and it at least corrected a continuity error. And it fit in well, because it was a small passenger transport. In that instance, it was hauling about 6 people. It's about 18 meters long, so a bit big for a shuttle. But, still, yeah. So I think that's cool that it influenced this, and now it's officially canon and the TOS remastered. But this particular model is meant to be Harcourt Fenton Harry Mudd's ship, and that's neat. So what about the Phase 2? Did it ever influence anything? Well, actually, yes. Yes, it did. It brought us this. Okay, a little bit of a joke, but it's late. Captain Proton's rocket ship. But you see what I mean? I brought this out to show you this was intentionally designed in Voyager as kind of a generic, well, 1950s or whatever rocket ship envisioned for the future. Long, tapered fins, jet exhaust. Very, intentionally generic, which is cool. And that just goes to show you kind of how this was honestly a little bit of a generic design. It's not distinctly Star Trek. It's very generic sci-fi, small fighter, shuttlecraft, whatever. It's not to say I don't like it. I think it's it just, when I opened the box, I'm like, huh? It threw me off. The other one, this shuttle is Star Trek, pure through and through. But this was like, oh, okay. But, I had fun. So I like doing these videos. They always put me in a good mood. So hope you enjoy them too. And I hope I got something on screen for you. But yeah, the 2 Jefferies concept shuttles from Eaglemoss. Again, we also have the concept Type 7 from Next Generation, which was sort of shown on screen. And lots of other cool Starship concepts in this collection. So if you're kind of into the what-ifs and the minutiae and trivia, check it out, because that's kind of what's charming to me about this collection. Well, with that said, I'm going to call it a night, guys. This is Misha, and I will catch you very soon next time.